Hello everyone, and now welcome to a game between Lin versus I don't know if that E is a silent E. Is it Yange or is it Yange, right? Don't really know. So many rules trying to pronounce Romanized foreign languages. So both of them are Night Elf as well. So gonna be a little bit difficult. Anyways, let's go ahead and go down into this game. Lin, probably the Yange, Yange, yeah, not quite sure which one it is. Anyways, Lin is spawning as the random Night Elf player over here on the bottom right-hand side of Terranus Stand. Meanwhile, we're looking at Yange spawning as the blue Night Elf over here on the top left. This is a Night Elf versus Night Elf mirror match, and well, we'll see how Lin does. I believe this is a NetEase ladder match. Nothing really being played on the line here as Lin goes up and, well, trying to ladder and practice. And yeah, WarCraft 3 is still very, very large in, well, pretty much in China, still followed in Korea, and then, well, in the European areas as well. Not so much in the Americas, even though it is such a beautiful, beautiful real-time strategy game. I'm really hoping that, well, like, I really hope that this game does stay around for quite a bit longer. It seems like it's difficult to make a new real-time strategy game as the focus on better graphics over better gameplay and viewability has really and those epic moments seems to have, you know, just gone a little bit downhill. I don't know, like, if you've ever, I've seen a couple of and read a couple of articles about, you know, esports and the competitive scene, and there's a very, very famous moment, right, in a real-time strategy game, or not real-time, in a fighting game, where, you know, Street Fighter, I think it was Street Fighter 4, where Chung Lee was going up against, I believe, Ken, and it was like for the player of the year, right? It was like an American player versus a Japanese player, and Ken was like down to like 1%. It's not Warden in Night Elf Mirror, yeah. And, well, you know what? There's no way for Yange to know that his opponent had actually had gotten Night Elf, right? His opponent had chosen random. Maybe he would have chosen a different hero if he wasn't sure. Anyways, ended up being that like, I think the Ken was able to perfectly parry his opponent's Chung Lee's super, like both sides of it, and then able to come back with another combo and basically return the favor and win. And anyone who's tried to do a perfect parry in that version of Street Fighter knows how difficult it is. Well, it almost seemed like people, they wanted to allow all players to be able to perfect parry, so they actually made parrying a little bit easier in the subsequent versions of the game. And I think that's also what happened in StarCraft 2. In an attempt to make the game a little bit more approachable, right, they made the overall gameplay significantly easier. Being able to multi-select units, being able to use and enable smart casting in StarCraft 2, when being able to, well, the fact that it was difficult to control your units in StarCraft 2 was actually what made the gameplay very, very interesting. Nice potion of greater mana used right there, finishing off a couple of archers. Are we going to see another archer taken down, or the Moonwell is going to be able to fully heal in time? Yeah, so, and I got to admit, at first when I played StarCraft 2 and I was able to, you know, mass select sentries, and be able to smart cast and things like that, it felt very good. Being able to use Ghost with multiple lockdowns, it felt very comfortable. Being able to multi-select, have almost 150 supply army in one control group, it felt nice. It felt like, yeah, I'm doing better than and I'm controlling my army better than I was in the original StarCraft Brood War. But in the same breath, in the same way, everyone has that advantage. And it's almost like the quote from Syndrome in Incredibles: when everyone is super, no one is. And that's what it ultimately felt like. It ultimately felt like like the playing difference at even at the lower levels, and it closed the gap at the lower level, but the high level play also closed some of the gap as well. So I don't know, by dumbing down and making the controls easier, it took away a lot of the skill that was necessary, and that's why we still see Brood War as such a popular real-time strategy game today. Anyways, I've diverged from this game a little bit too long. Hopefully you guys might enjoyed my little bit of banter, as we are now 5 minutes 30 minutes into this matchup, as the Demon Hunter coming in from Lin was trying to shut down the Wardens, Shadow Strikes and Blink play. All right. People seem to appreciate finesse less now. Goes not only for video games, but overall, just an observation. Well, and yeah, like it's one of those situations where once you understand a game and you understand what goes into that game, then you have better appreciation for it. It's kind of like when I try to explain baseball and why baseball is such an interesting game. My wife was just like, no, like she didn't get it, and then we went to an actual baseball game, and I started like explaining things to her that she was just like, no, okay, no, the pitch is gonna be the pitch is gonna be low and outside, and the batter's not gonna even try to swing at it, and on this pitch. And she's like, how do you know that? And I'm like, well, no, the count is this. The person there's an open base right now. And you factor in all of these things and into decision making, and you're like, oh, there's so much more to this game than I previously thought. And it's one of those situations where you don't know what you don't know. Same thing can be said about Warcraft 3 and StarCraft Brood War. You almost need like a bachelor's degree in understanding StarCraft and Warcraft before you can see all of the intricate level of play, and then you need to be and like kept up on the meta. You need to understand, like in the previous game I cast, going for Kodos first over the Raiders was an unheard of and a shift, and perhaps caught people off guard, and it actually had a strong payoff. Those small differences end up having a very big impact on the game. Sounds like you will soon be casting baseball as well. Yeah, not many people like this kind of thing anymore. The game is constant action, by the way. Yeah, and that's one thing that I actually like about like baseball over soccer, or football. I'm sorry, I know a lot of my European viewers are out there. I understand the physicalness of football. I can't understand the strategy yet, because there's no time for me to like stop and think, because the game is a pure clock. Oh, Demon Hunter is gonna, oh, no potion of healing in time. Because there is no clock, there's no time for me to actually like sit back and understand the ebb and flow of the game. I don't have 90 minutes straight or 45-minute halves to watch a good game of soccer. Or football. I'm sorry, football. I'll say football because my American viewers will be like, no, it's called soccer. But if I say football, I'm pretty sure even my American viewers will know which game I'm talking about. Anyways, Demon Hunter picking up a Belt of Giant Strength. I've really gone on a tangent long enough. It is going to be a solo Warden now going up against a Naga Sea Witch throughout this match. We are looking at Lin already setting up his expansion here. And finally, this Tree of Life that Yange has had set up for a very long time will be able to root itself. We hear now, well, a Goblin Zeppelin in the air as we are going into a Dryad fight. Mass Dryads, a very, very common strategy in the Night Elf Mirror, as it's effective against themselves, and Dryads with their slow poison and fast movement speed allow for fast or a decent picking off of enemy units. Now that Warden with, well, Shadow Strike as the ability makes a lot of sense. You do not want a big AoE effect, as if your opponent is going to be going for mass Dryads here at like Fork Lightning. There's a Shadow Strike, and now going straight after that Naga Sea Witch. Naga Sea Witch could be in trouble. Nope, picked up in the Goblin Zeppelin. That extra fly in the friendly skies, and some beautiful Zeppelin micro coming from Lin so far, as we are looking at, oh nope, they're actually letting one go. All right, trying to pick up another, unable to do exactly that. The slow poison actually having in effect there as well. Things are not going well. It looks as though the numbers are just starting to slightly fall in the favor of red of Lin now, as Yange is just trying to continue to fight their way back. All right, Scroll of Town Portal finally be dropped, trying to get every bit of hit points out of his opponent's units. There goes another unit there. 26 supply versus 33. Lin with a definite supply advantage. 19 supply army compared to 14, as this gold mine, well, not even fully saturated. I can find... Soccer is pretty interesting. Those guys... Yeah, no, see, I can understand the physical intensity of the game. Like, those guys can dribble a ball faster than I can run, right? Like, how can you... Like, I can sprint, and those guys are controlling a ball, dancing around me faster than I can sprint. I can understand that physical prowess, but the teamwork and the positioning and the trapping and all of those things, I'd have to watch a replay a couple of times until I understand the level of teamwork that those players are doing. Blue Night Elf surprised me with that last engagement. Yeah, a decent engagement, able to force the micro there. Lin actually did more with his units in that battle. That's why he came out ahead. But with the amount of micro that was necessary, it felt like, well, Yange should have been further behind, but he's not. His Warden is almost at level 5 right now. Are we going to see... No, that Ancient of Wonders would have given level 5 to that Warden, who is only 10 experience away from level 5. Level 5 Warden is scary only because it is that much closer to level 6. A level 6 Warden is absolutely devastating, especially when you consider Avatar of Vengeance and the piercing damage that those Spirit of Vengeances are able to deal while being completely immune to damage. Those Dryads simply will not stand a chance. And you also know that once your opponent gets to level 5 on a Warden, that Warden is just gonna really stop creeping and go for a lot more harassment. Alright, Tome of Retraining, Potion of Invisibility. What is going on here? Wait, it switched to Fan of Knives? Okay, that does come as a shock to me. Why would you switch to Fan of Knives when you know your opponent? Yeah, there is a Scroll of Town Portal now heading back home. That seemed like a grave miscalculation here as well. The Fan of Knives. I cannot call that a fumble anymore. Wow. You know what? I'll say this. Sometimes my map awareness is not, but I was following the action. Yange's map awareness was pro tier right there, to understand and have the foresight to know that there was going to be goblin sappers raiding against his own base right there. All right, in comes a goblin zeppelin now, trying to drop down in here, trying to stop. And oh, this is turning into a play where the Warden is purposely using bears to drop into position, forcing the gold mine to be repaired, and then using Fan of Knives to take out all of the wisps that are trying to repair. This is the strategy. I was like, the only way this strategy works to switch to Fan of Knives is if you're able to force your opponent to get those wisps out of that gold mine. And that is the reason for the Goblin Zeppelin. Goblin Zeppelin play to bears in order to get them out of the gold mine. And then once they are out of the gold mine, you use a Fan of Knives and you take down all 5 wisps all at once. They are the weakest of all of the workers. All right, coming back down here, it looks like a new Tree of Life is trying to be built. However, Demon Hunter is going to be putting pressure. Tree of Life, Dryads, Naga, Sea Witch, all in position here. Some high-level, interesting plays already, as we're going to see some detonation right there. Tree of Life trying to fight back. What is going on? As we're going to be looking at, damage, and then Tree of Eternity, or Tree of Life here, is also going to get taken out. This is going to be turning into an exchange of expansions here. Are we going to see a Fan of Knives? There's the Fan of Knives finishing off pretty much all of those wisps. Is the the, well, Nature's Blessing going to get finished? No, it is not. Tree of Life is down as well on both sides, as the, well, there is a roar right there. 52 supply compared to 61. Lin has the supply advantage. Dryads are now making their way over. This bear is going to have a, well, barely going to make it out as he tops on out. Wow, no one focuses him. There's a rejuvenation on himself and then turns into a bear for the engagement. Didn't need to rejuvenate himself, but still quite all right. Meanwhile, back down to the south here, the Tree of Eternity on both sides still very well protected as the game is, well, coming into position here. All right, there's a rejuvenation. There's a Druid of the Claw getting ready to fight their way through as we are looking at, well, Druids of the Claw here are going to go ahead and roar, rejuvenate, and then transform into bears as well. A 14 supply advantage for Lin as he's going to go ahead and put in the pressure, but there is that, well, home field advantage for Yange as Yange gets off a nice Fan of Knives. However, well, Fan of Knives can only do so much when your opponent's half their army considers of Dryads. There's a Cyclone picking up that one Warden right there as a Fan of, well, there goes another Forest Troll Berserker. Are we going to see more Fan of Knives? Yes, a Fan of Knives finishing off another bear there, and there is a massive bear army here. Sheer numbers are going to make a big difference. This bear going to get taken down, so is that bear. No Staff of Preservation. Wow, down to 1 hit point, and it is able to survive. However, Spirit of Avatar of Vengeance is now in play. There's plenty of corpses, and what is going to go down here? There goes another bear. Rejuvenation onto that Druid of Claw, able to escape away. That 1 hit point bear may come back to haunt Yange later on. 35 supply compared to 43 as the Demon Hunter and the, well, Demon Hunter and the Naga Sea Witch are still battling it out. Demon Hunter has a rejuvenation, should be using a Scroll of Town Portal. Fan of Knives, Warden backs away at 1 hit point and jumps inside a Goblin Zeppelin as well. Spirit of Vengeance still in play here. What is the, well, Warden gonna use a Potion of Healing? Level 4 Demon Hunter has fallen. Level 4 Demon Hunter fallen. He was the one with the Scroll of Town Portal. There's a Fan of Knives going across the board as well as the Spirit of Vengeance, Avatar of Vengeance still fighting their way through. 32 supply compared to 31. Yange and Lin both battling it out here, both with sub 40 supply armies as the Naga Sea Witch trying to back away here. Very low hit point bear. 1 hit point bear going to get lost. Another lost right there as the Warden is going to be able to chase after. Yes, going after that Naga Sea Witch down to 433 hit points. The Warden at 393 and climbing because of the rejuvenation. And, well, more importantly, that Naga Sea Witch is going to be in trouble as the Warden does have a potion. Excuse me, does have an Orb of Venom. Potion of Invulnerability. That Naga Sea Witch going to get, constantly blocked. Are we going to see a Goblin Zeppelin pick him up? Oh, double past the other side as that Naga Sea Witch. Potion of Lesser Invulnerability. Well, going to get into position here. What are we looking at? Oh, there's the Mud Golem. The Mud Golem is going to be able to slow down that Naga Sea Witch there and getting in that damage here. All right, there's the slow blinking forward. That Naga Sea Witch down to 272 hit points. We should be getting another rejuvenation as that Naga Sea Witch has friends in arms to try and fight. Speaking of friends in arms, the remainder of the Night Elf army now in position as damage going to get added back up. Moonwell is going to heal. Are we going to see a Fan of Knives? No Fan of Knives. Goblin Zeppelin picked back up. Is it going to drop down as the Avatar of Vengeance? Well, it has no corpses available to her right now, but still a very powerful unit out on the field. All right, Avatar of Vengeance, a ranged normal attack damage. Actually, a very far range normal attack damage. Only, I believe only the Huntresses have a farther range as the bear, it may end up getting taken down. There it goes. Low hit point bear, Naga Sea Witch sitting at level 5. Are we getting a resurrection on the Demon Hunter? Yes, he is going to be back out onto the field. All right. Solo Warden sitting at level 7, getting very close to level 8. Don't know how, if you need all of that real additional experience, extra mana would be helpful. Clarity Potion now being used. The Pendant of Mana should actually be, or Pendant of Energy should be dropped from that Warden as the rejuvenation would, well, work that much better. All right, crazy game so far. New expansion set up for Yange. Meanwhile, no expansion coming in from Lin. Lin will be forced to, well, transfer this Tree of Eternity a little bit later, but he does not have Nature's Blessing. It is not going to be an easy walk over to the natural expansion whatsoever. Demon Hunter is at 4. Naga Sea Witch is at 5. We're going to see a battle coming underway. And, well, Yange well, he knew that he was going to end up forcing an engagement at his expansion, but he was not ready for the attack just quite yet. Phantom Knives coming back across, Potion of Lesser Invulnerability, Avatar of Vengeance out onto the field, and here we are, a major battle already underway. Demon Hunter has a Scroll of Town Portal. Is he going to try and back his way back out? As you can see, the Druids of the Claw are now going into, well, Fork Lightning coming across. You can see Druid of the Claw trying to stay alive here. No Staff of Preservation coming across here, as Spirit of Vengeance just should be popping up from the ground. All right. There's a situation where not enough corpses is really minimizing the effectiveness of this Avatar of Vengeance, as it looks like Lin may be able to take down another bear, getting up to level 5 on that Demon Hunter. All right, what is going on here? Low hit point Druid of the Claw, 460 hit points. Repairs now getting underway, trying to keep this alive. Staff of Preservation saving, losing the expansion there. That is a lot of well, melee damage, normal damage, getting in plenty of damage across the board. There is a mana burn, but the Phantom Knives does come down first. All right, big damage across the board. Staff of Preservation not in time, as it was still on cooldown, and it looks as though Lin still has a slight supply advantage, but where are the rest of his units? That is the question. And if there are no more units here, let's take a look. Are we going to see this Druid of the Claw get taken down to 43 hit points, down to 27? It is able to escape. 40 supply compared to 37. A number of low hit point Druids of the Claw back at home. Rejuvenation all in order. 30 supply army compared to 41. Lin has a significantly larger army. Meanwhile, the main gold mines are nearly mined out, and we are, well, come on. We do not have Nature's Blessing on. Nope, Nature's Blessing was finished for Lin, so Lin will be able to pick himself up and walk over fairly soon. Meanwhile, this Tree of Eternity is going to have a slow walk. Yange did a great job getting to this point, but it may not be enough, as the, well, Tree of Eternity, well, the Warden still trying to back away, trying to get a little bit more gold now. He does have a Wand of the Wind. If he can neutralize one or the two heroes long enough, or perhaps neutralize the bears long enough with 3 Wands of the Wind Staff casting, that would work. But the Dryads are going to be in play with those, with that Abolish magic. All right, Rejuvenation onto that Avatar of Vengeance. This is going to be a key battle. Wand of the Wind, Potion of Lesser Invulnerability. All right, plenty of mana coming across the board. Finish off the opposing Dryad, neutralize the opposing bears, to give yourself a supply advantage, or a supply equality. 50 supply compared to 37 right now. Dryads are here ready to engage. Are we going to see the fight now? There it goes. Dryad's going to go after. Where's the Blink? Going straight after the Naga Sea Witch. Going after those units once more. All right. A lot of damage being absorbed by the Naga Sea Witch. Does have a Potion of Lesser Invulnerability. There goes that Cyclone that I was talking about. Wand of the Wind, instead on the Demon Hunter, trying to save some of those other remaining units. Dryads low on hit points. There is another Cyclone coming across, and just constantly removing the Demon Hunter to be able to get additional mana burns out onto the field. There was, well, that mana burn was absolutely critical, though. That mana burn prevented Yange from getting off that another casting of that Avatar of Vengeance, and that was pretty much what prevented him from being able to come back in that game right there. If he had used that Potion of Lesser Invulnerability first, and I believe we would have seen another minute or two of fighting, and with that Avatar of Vengeance out onto the field, as the original Avatar of Vengeance in that battle was dead due to time life, there would have been a chance. No gas left in the tank, not being able to manage your mana properly, and, well, it really came down to that Dryad abolishing magic, that Cyclone. I'm sure Yange, it felt like he had the timing on that Cyclone good enough. I think I saw, as I closed my eyes trying to remember that last fight, the Dryad abolishing the magic, and then an immediate mana burn, to remove that precious mana, preventing that Avatar of Vengeance from coming into play. Great game. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed it.